Welcome to Anderson Speaks. I'm Dick Murgatroyd, and on this edition of Anderson Speaks, we'll be talking with Susan Parker, who's making a return appearance on the show from Susan's Natural World, and she's going to have some tips on healthy ways to cleanse and detox after we have gorged ourselves over the last few weeks, just after the holidays, to kind of get us back in shape again. John Fecker, conductor of the Anderson Community Band, who will tell us a little bit about the community band, and Dee Stone, executive director of the Forest Hills Foundation on Education, and her son Mitch Stone, and they're going to be talking to us about a couple of special events that are going to be coming up during this month. So we hope you'll sit back and relax as we meet our first guest, and I always love having her here. Susan Parker, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. I'm thrilled to be here. It's
great for you to be here. You have brought just a ton of things to talk about, but I think it's kind of exciting because, you know, we think about this, but I don't think many of us do it, and that is to sort of, over time, try to kind of cleanse ourselves a little bit and get rid of some of the junk we have put into our system a period of time. Kind of, how often should we do something like that, or how important is that?
Well, and our own health and our everyday diet's going to have a lot to do with it. But I firmly, in my own life, and think a couple of times a year, maybe as each season changes, do we take a couple of days or a week and eat lighter on the food chain, really try to think about some of the bad things we're putting into our bodies. You know, they say one of the #1 ways to get healthy is to stop putting poison in your body, and then to figure out how you're going to get the poisons in your body out. So I think we need to have an honest conversation with ourselves about what poisons are we putting in, what would be a good idea to change. So once or twice a year, and I'm not talking about drastic cleanses, you know, but just eating a little lighter on the food chain. I've brought some nice enzymes and herbs that can safely be used to help gently clean our lungs, clean our liver. But I think a couple times a year is a good idea to head towards.
Well, I guess one thing I would say is it generally safe for people, all people, or should some people maybe check with their doctors before they enter into something like this?
It's a wonderful question, because always you should check with your doctors, and particularly if you're under a doctor's care. If you are on medications, then you need to be very careful about your liver. We want your body to absorb your medications, but then can we help your liver and your lungs and your blood be a little healthier with wide use of foods and herbal remedies? But I like to point out, I'm not a doctor or a pharmacist, and we always need to check with our own doctors and with the pharmacist, particularly if you're on prescription drugs. And then still you can gently cleanse your body. You'll just have to time it properly so you can absorb your medication and not flush it out of your body. So there always are going to be things to think about.
Yeah, and I think that's important because a lot of people, I think, are on different kinds of medications. So I think that would be the safe way to go.
Yeah.
Is it really, I guess, you know, we tend to think about doing things like this, and then we look at it and we go, oh my gosh, there's a lot of, I mean, I got to do a lot of things, and I've got to worry about this and that, and you know, this goes with this. And that. I mean, and then we give up because we say it's too much trouble, so we don't do it.
Absolutely, and I run into people like that all the time, and I think, you know what, we're not going to be perfect people. We're not going to do every perfect thing every single day. So just get started in a direction. If you then went to a party and ate something you wish you didn't, say, well, I wish I didn't do that, and start again tomorrow to cleanse that out. But, you know, I'm not necessarily talking about really harsh laxatives or anything like that. Mainly foods, just drinking clean water and putting lemon in it. It's a gentle flush for your liver. Eating a carrot, you know, 1 carrot a day has every trace mineral you'll need in it. And eat the real carrot, and those sorts of things. Getting more blueberries into your life. Eating things like sweet potatoes, one of the best foods for our liver and good for people with diabetes, and beets. Beets are a wonderful food. They're here in some of the juice I brought. Beets are a great detox for our liver. So we want to keep our livers clean. They're very compromised with all the processed foods, all the fatty foods that we eat, a lot of the medications people do, and even, you know, I talk about this a lot when I'm here, over-the-counter pain relievers. really compromise your liver. So if you're somebody who's using Tylenol pretty frequently, those sorts of things, to take a couple of days, try to stay away from things like that, and gently, through the use of eating some beets, baking a sweet potato, drinking a lot of lemon water, taking ginger. There's a lot of wonderful things you can do. So not to be extreme, but to flush that liver out and your kidneys often would be a good idea.
So you can kind of get yourself on a regimen where you're not doing anything drastic, but you're just sort of keeping yourself cleaning yourself out.
Keeping yourself hydrated and flushed out.
Flushed out.
Yeah.
Every
without
once in a
being
while.
extreme.
I know water is. I drink a lot of iced tea, which I'm sure is not as good for you as just drinking water. So I try to.
Well, tea is a wonderful food. So, but tea has tannic acid in it, which can be hard on some people's stomachs. And tea, like coffee, they're natural foods, and certainly I think we can be part of a healthy diet. They can flush minerals and trace minerals out of your body. So you can lose electrolytes, you can flush out your calcium and magnesium if you're overdoing tea. So, you know, I love tea also, but if you would do, for each glass of tea you had, you replace it with a glass of water and then you squeezed a little lemon in your water, it would be easier on your kidneys overall.
Which would be, and I probably should start doing that. You talked a little bit about, when we were talking earlier, that sometimes maybe it's good just to sort of change your diet occasionally throughout the year. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, and again, you know, that we recently had the holidays. We were just talking about you go to parties, you eat a lot of fattier things, more processed, more sugar, maybe you're even drinking more alcohol than usual. So to really take a look at what's going on in your life, and then to take a period of time where you say you're not going to have alcohol, you're going to eat lower on the food chain, meaning you're going to eat more salads and more fruits and vegetables, less meat, less dairy, particularly the processed meats with the preservatives in them. We know they're troublemakers for our body. And just getting off of that, just even a lot of times they call a detox diet is just eating fruits and vegetables. It's not that you need to not eat. It's not that you must even fast, but you just want to pull some of those things that we know clog up our bowels, clog up our blood, mess up our digestive process, because it's eating food, digesting it so that you're actually absorbing the nutrients from the food, and then efficiently eliminating it. And those are problems in America for people.
Now, when you talk about fruits and vegetables, you're talking fresh fruits and vegetables, not processed fruits and vegetables necessarily.
Fresh for the very most part, yes. But you know what? I'm somebody, I think in the winter, and here we are in Ohio, there's nothing wrong with frozen blueberries or frozen strawberries. Read the ingredients and make sure you're not getting other things you don't want. But you know, I actually am a supporter of frozen fruits and vegetables because, you know, when you consider fresh, it's wonderful, but fresh might have been picked 2 weeks ago in California, where what we know is, you know, a lot of those frozen vegetables, we were once in England, and Mr. Birdseye, in a pea field in England, there was the processing plant right in the field, and we could see those little peas going up and actually going into this, where they were being flash frozen right from the field. So that's a valuable thing, I think. So I'm not totally opposed, but as fresh as possible, and as near to the date that it was picked from the field as possible is going to be best overall.
Is that information on the product itself?
It will say, and I beg everybody to turn into label readers. You know, a bag of frozen peas should say frozen peas. And if there's a little bit of salt in there, read and make sure. Anything under 100 milligrams of sodium in a serving can be considered low sodium, and you drink your water with it. We need sodium. You know, we would die without sugar, salt, and fat. But I think we get caught up that those are bad words, and they can be, but we need our healthy sodiums. We need healthy sugars. It's how our brains thrive. And we need healthy fats. So turning into a label reader and making use of the frozen if you feel like you need to do it.
You brought a lot of things today. Let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff you brought.
Okay.
Now, these are things that people can get and are going to help in the process of that cleansing process?
Sure. And one of the first things I wanted to say to my neighborhood is that we are a pH system. Like every other system on Earth, our bodies are a pH system. If we were going to put a lake in your yard, we'd dig the hole, we'd put in the water. But until we tested the pH to make sure that it was balanced, no fish, no plants, nothing would thrive. And that's what's going on in America. We're eating so many of the wrong foods that most of us are very overly acidic. When we have too much acid in the body, we pack fat around the middle of our bodies, and we just can't get rid of that. So one of the first things I would like people to know is you can buy test strips. You can buy them in health food stores and drug stores. You can test your saliva or your urine, and you can see what your own pH balance is. So you want to be slightly more acidic than alkaline, although you do certainly want to stay in balance. That's going to assure that your body is actually going to be able to receive the foods that you're eating, break them down so that you can digest and absorb them. They say that cancers and many other diseases have trouble thriving in a more alkaline environment. So we want people to test their urine. If you test that you are very acidic and you don't know what to do, these are alkalizing drops you can just add to your water, test again. You know, everything in life is about seeking balance, and when we're out of balance, it's going to be hard to be healthy. And many of us are out of balance, and we're out of balance in an overly acid environment because of even your tea. You know, drinking tea all day,
Yes.
too much tannic acid, you know, so cutting that with some water, even though tea is a good food, and that acid too much compared to other things. But green foods are the alkalizers of the body. So eating your good green salad every day, cucumbers are the #1 cooling, alkalizing food. So I say to everybody, as part of your detox, eating a green salad every single day, within 2 weeks you can really notice a difference in your life. And I like to tell everybody I think you need to eat a rainbow every day. So to that green salad, you need to add some purple onion, some grated carrots, some sweet red peppers, some sweet yellow peppers or squash. So you're getting all your colors in there. And, you know, choose a healthy salad dressing. We were talking before the program. A good healthy salad dressing, I don't have a problem with it, even if it's a little bit fatty.
Mm-hmm.
If that's your delivery system of a great big bowl of veggies, then, you know, throw some chickpeas or some nuts or some dried cherries or something in there. Get that fiber in your salad and do enjoy it. But getting raw foods and vegetables and fruits in lieu of meat and dairy and breads and alcohols and particularly sugars and sweets would be a really good way to go. So these would help you figure out what state your body's in. So I think that's always good to start with a clear picture of what's going on. Then to keep a journal of what you're eating every day. Try to take away some of the troublemakers and replace them with good things. And that's, you know, replacing white bread with wheat bread. Just eating a salad, like I said, every single day. You know, baking your chicken instead of frying it. Steaming your veggies instead of boiling them. There's all kinds of good ways. And then I brought just a few teas and things that people have used throughout the ages to sort of help. This one, I wanted to show you the milk thistle first because got it right up here in front. Milk thistle is a wonderful herb. It grows around here. It's the #1 plant to cleanse and regenerate your liver. You know, your liver is a gland that you can actually re-nourish, and it's not, just because your liver's in trouble doesn't mean you're doomed forever. And there's things you can do. You got to stop putting poison into your body. And again, I want to remind people on prescription drugs and those the side effects of over-the-counter pain relievers. They are really hitting the liver hard, and somebody has a couple of those, a couple glasses of wine, and you could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So milk thistle tea, you can take it in a capsule or a tincture, you know, drinking a little bit of that, putting a little lemon in it, you know, even if you want to take a big thing of water and only put 1 tea bag, so just a nice little flush of milk thistle and lemon water. So that's particularly for the liver. And a lot of natural doctors, no matter what's wrong with you, they say first you cleanse your liver, whether you're going to a cardiologist or anybody. Getting that liver flushed out a little bit is going to make us all feel less sluggish. We're going to think better. A lot of Americans have fatty liver disease, which is something that's not really life-threatening, but it makes us very sluggish. And that's where a lot of the cholesterol, the triglycerides, a lot of the problems we have is because our livers are fatty. Those processed meats are a big problem with it. But eating beets and sweet potatoes, drinking milk thistle tea and putting lemon in it would just be a wonderful way to keep your liver very, very healthy. And I know you said you live alone, but you know, you can bake a sweet potato just next to a piece of chicken. That would be a wonderful.
Because I love sweet potatoes, and I love, of course, and beets. I actually like beets. You know,
beets
very
are
much.
a wonderful food. I think we don't give them the respect that they really do deserve. But a few other teas I wanted to say. This is mullein, and this grows around here. This is a wonderful tea, and again, can come in capsules and other forms if you're not a tea drinker. I'm a tea drinker, and I think, oh, nothing nicer than sitting down with a cup of tea. But mullein is wonderful for the lungs. Even for people with asthma, it really keeps your lungs clean and healthy. And the Native Americans would use mullein. They would actually take the stem of the mullein plant and light it, and you would inhale the smoke to open up your lungs if you were having asthma. Now, I don't want to support smoking of any type, so drinking the mullein tea, but it does grow in our area also. And I sort of love to pick plants that are around us, that choose your own garden kind of thing is a good idea. This is hyssop. We talked about it. Hyssop is even referred to in the Bible, Psalm 51, where it says, "Purge me with hyssop, that I shall be clean." So hyssop just kind of cleans your blood, cleans your whole system, just keeps everything healthy. You know, the Native Americans would very often refer to, they have bad blood. You know, we need our blood clean and healthy. We don't want it thick. We don't want it over thinned. You know, we just want to eat our good healthy foods, drink our water. So hyssop is another wonderful herb that can be used to just keep your body clean. No reason that you couldn't do a little blend of mullein, hyssop, and milk thistle tea. And even throwing in, you were saying you liked your black tea. Throw in a black tea. There's nothing wrong with the black tea except the tannic acid and the caffeine.
So would you drink that every day, or would you?
You could drink it every day, like and there are a lot of these are a few combinations. Yeah, 1 or 2 cups in the morning. These are a couple combinations that are just detoxifying herbs already blended together. But sometimes I find that, you know, having a few on hand and you go, okay, well, I don't smoke, but I was around people that were smoking, or, you know, I was somewhere where they were, so I'm going to drink the mullein tea today. You know, garlic and ginger are so good for our lungs, everything like that also. But what I did bring for us to try, at Susan's Natural World, we're very proud of our juice and smoothie bar. And juicing, getting yourself a juicer is a very, very good idea. And we make the smoothies there also. But these raw, fresh vegetable juices that are juiced in front of your eyes are going to be, it's breaking down the fiber wall of the vegetable, it's getting right into your bloodstream. And then any food this color, you just know that's going to be so healthy for your blood.
And so there's nothing in there, it's just a pure straight.
Just nothing, there's no water or anything. So in this blend, we have carrots, we have beets, we have parsley, we have celery, we have a little bit of apple, and then we have a little bit of ginger. I love ginger. It helps you breathe, it aids your digestion, and I think so. I know you've never tasted anything like this, but I thought I'd like to make a toast to you and share a little healthy cocktail in a paper cup.
To 2013 and whatever comes with it.
And to all of our health. It's good.
Oh, wow, that's excellent.
Isn't it delicious? Yeah.
It really is.
So, you know, like I said, all of these, and that fiber wall of vegetables just gets right into your bloodstream, so you just know. And the apple and the ginger make it a little sweet.
Yeah, it's very good, yeah.
But all the colors in there, you know, purple foods, orange foods, green foods, again, eating that rainbow every single day. And then, yeah, I'm glad you like it. Good. Yeah. Well, you're going to have more if you like.
Well, me too, yeah. Well, unfortunately, the clock on the wall, as they always say, has run out of time, but very fascinating. And I mean, there's so much to try to absorb. But can they go to a website or something and learn some of this stuff?
Well, go to susansnaturalworld.com. We've got a lot of pages, a lot of notes from me. We're right here on the corner of 8 Mile and Beachmont, going into our 24th year, and we really do love to help educate our customers. You know, if you go to a foreign country, you know you're going to do better with a guide. We would like to be the guides because there's so much of this stuff that can make your head spin.
Yeah,
but we can really be the guides to keep you safe but healthy at the same time.
Well, you sure have enlightened me, and I hope you've enlightened all of our friends that have been watching. We sure appreciate your coming and come back again.
I will.
I love it when you join us. So
well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for bringing all these goodies and for the nice taste of the juice there, and we'll hope to see you again before the year's out.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And we'll be back right after this message with John Fecker, who is the conductor of the Anderson Community Band. So please stay with us. Welcome back to Anderson Speaks. Our next guest is John Fecker, who is conductor of the Anderson Community Band. I just want to share a little bit about him before we visit with him. John received his Bachelor of Music from the University of Cincinnati College Conservatory of Music and then his Master's in Education from Xavier University. He taught 7th and 8th grade band for the Loveland City Schools from 1975 to 79, retired from the Forest Hills School District in 2005, where he served as Turpin High School band director for 26 years. The Turpin Band earned numerous superior ratings from the Ohio Music Education Association during his time there at various adjudicated events. And the Turpin Marching Band performances of note include the 1982 World's Fair in Knoxville, Tennessee, the 1986 Cherry Blossom Festival Parade in Washington, D.C., and the 2002 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City. So it's a pleasure to welcome John Fecker. John, nice to have you with us. I'm excited and anxious to hear about the Anderson Community Band, and certainly say you've had a great run there at Turpin with the high school band there while you were associated with them. They had some terrific appearances, which says an awful lot for your your ability and for their ability to, when you hit the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and the Cherry Blossom Festival Parade.
Right. Those
quite,
were
quite a time.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me here on the show today. It's a pleasure to be here and give me a chance to talk about the Anderson Community Band.
Well, I want to know a little bit about that. How long has it been around?
Well, that's a good question. We were talking about that not too long ago within the band, and there's only a couple of members who have been with the group since its inception, and it was back in the 80s sometime. So
it's been around a while.
It has been around a while, and but it's still going strong and stronger than ever right now.
What was the basis of forming the band? Did folks just get together and want to kind of have an opportunity to?
You know, as I recall, I think it was first started through the Forest Hills School District's adult education program that they have, and so people signed up and they played, and that was pretty much it. It was a chance to play. I don't think they really did any concertizing. So we're not associated with that anymore. We're kind of a group that's out there standing alone on its own.
So you're independent from the school system basically at this point?
Well, and I wouldn't say that because we get a lot of support from Forest Hills School District,
of course, yeah.
Which I would be remiss not to mention. We rehearse over at the Nagel Middle School, and sometimes actually at Turpin and at Anderson when Nagel's not available. And so we still have a relationship with them, and that kind of goes back to my time when I worked with the school district.
Oh, okay. How large is the band?
We're just about 70 members now.
Oh, my goodness.
And when I took it over, there were about 30, 35 members. And I started working with the group in 2004. Actually was part of the early history of the group, but with my duties at the high school, I didn't feel like I had enough time for it.
So now, do you have a lot of turnover in members, or do they pretty much stay with it?
That's a good question. Now, we do have some turnover, and a lot of times it's folks who are moving out. They move out of town, or they have other interests, but we also have folks who come in for the same reason. You know, we added quite a few new members this year, and they played in community bands and in other where they were from previously, and were looking for a place to perform, and contacted me through our website. So.
Well, I think anybody that has been a musician or had an opportunity to participate in a lot of people, in their high school years and that
Right.
participate in music, and then they have no other outlet to do it once they graduate. And so this is a great opportunity for people who have that talent and have
Right.
who want to continue to enjoy it. What a great opportunity for them to do it.
Very much so. I mean, that's the one great thing about playing an instrument is that you can play that instrument forever.
No.
Unlike your golf game or your racquetball game or whatever things you like to do in your younger years, you can still play that horn or play your clarinet. Into your 80s. We have a couple of members who are in their 80s in the group now. Yeah.
Now, are all of the folks in the band adults for the most part?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And that's really been an encouraging thing, is that we have a nice mix of, as you look at community bands, when you go from a park concert or something, you'll find that most of the folks look a little bit more like me than younger people. But we have quite a few young folks in the band, and yet we have a lot of experienced players too. And the makeup of the group is all different kinds of levels of skill, but we have a lot of really good players too. That's a lot of former music teachers, and a lot of folks who went to music school but found their vocation in another place, and now they're still keeping their love for music and playing their instrument alive through their opportunity.
Well, it's being a musician is a tough
It is.
career.
It is.
And so a lot of people, I'm sure, who loved it and enjoyed it, found, it
Right.
just was not a path that you could really make a career of it. And so the opportunity you're giving them is that they can still enjoy that part of their life and still have their own career and do the things they need to do to make a living.
That's right.
Actually, this area is, and I spent more than 20-some years in television here, and we have probably some of the finest musicians, there are anywhere. I've always said that. We just have some great musicians that have settled here and made a living as musicians. And I remember often on the Bob Braun show when I did that show, how many times that one of the guests who would come into the show bring in charts and with no rehearsal, because they would get there after the show was on the air. I remember an incident with Tony Bennett was a good example. Tony was in town. He couldn't get there for rehearsal, but he came in, he brought in 2 arrangements. We handed them out to the band,
Right.
Which was the Cliff Flash band at the time. And Tony came on, performed those 2 songs, and and these guys played them first time they saw the arrangements. And I remember when he came off, he said, "You know what? That's the best those arrangements have ever been played." But we just have we're blessed with some great musicians here in this area, and
you're probably right.
Yeah.
There's a great heritage here for music.
There really is.
And I've always felt like one of the things that Cincinnati has to be proud of is its symphony orchestra.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And its
Absolutely.
opera and its May Festival chorus, and these are really important parts of our community as a whole, and even here for us here in Anderson Township to enjoy. And it's a great thing to be a part of.
And they're really a part of the heritage of this area. And I also give a plug for our folks over in Northern Kentucky, the Northern Kentucky
Sure.
Symphony Orchestra. JR has done such a great job with that orchestra and making it such a part of that community over there, and making it available to a lot of folks who normally might not be exposed to that music.
Right.
Because he does concerts in the park there, at DeVue Park in the summer in Covington, and he takes them around to some of the schools, but people have a chance to go and see something that maybe they might not have even thought about seeing, and enjoy it so very much. So we are blessed with a lot of great musicians. How do people get involved? How can they get involved if they want to be a part of this group?
Well, we have a website. It's real simple to remember. It's andersoncommunityband.org, and we have an application that you can fill out and send to me via email. We don't really have an audition process, but we have some questions we'd like to know about your background, so we know that your skills are going to fit in with the group.
Right.
So it's really very easy.
And is there a period of time when or you just any time? If somebody's interested, they can.
You can do it at any time.
Access the website and do it.
Yeah. If you're ready to start playing,
They're
come on in. Yeah, come on in and play.
Now, how many appearances do you all do in a year's time?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. We have our concert series, which I'm really hoping to promote today in our interview here at the Anderson Center. The Anderson Center has really been a catalyst for the growth of the group and the interest in the group, because prior to then, we really didn't have a place to perform. And so I'm very appreciative of the fact that we have a community center and a theater where we can perform regular concerts. So we do 3 concerts a year here at the Anderson Center. One is usually it's in December, although I think last year we had to do it at the end of November just because of the scheduling. We have one in March and we have one in May. And we do a variety of music, and it's not necessarily the traditional, what you might call community band music, where we just play maybe marches and show tunes, but we do a lot of classic band literature, and we do music that was originally written for orchestra. So we do a wide variety of things, and we almost always have soloists, and some of those soloists come within the group. And the other thing we have is we have a great little project that I've started with our final concert, which is the one in May. We have our scholarship concert. And this is one of the ways that we give back to the school program here in the Forest Hills School District. We have a scholarship for a soloist that's chosen from the 2 high school programs by the band directors at both Anderson and Turpin High School. And they get the opportunity to perform a solo. And the last couple of years, we've been able to give those students a $500 scholarship as well.
That's terrific. Well, that is great that you're giving back and making it possible for young people to continue in their interest in music. People pay to come to the concert?
They do. It's a nominal fee, but
Is that how you support the group?
It is.
Basically, through that?
Through that and through dues. We have some summer concerts that we do around the community in June. We've been playing out at the New Richmond Bandstand.
Oh, okay.
And we played last year out at the Union Township Amphitheater.
Yeah.
And every year for the last half dozen years or so, we've been playing on the July 3rd at the Balloon Glow out at Old Coney.
Oh, okay.
And that's
great.
Yeah, that's a great event for us because if you've ever been there, I mean, literally thousands of people are walking by as we're playing our music. And
absolutely.
As they heat up the balloons, and
It's a great event, and I mean, it's just an amazing event anyway. But
we always at that concert we always program a lot of 4th of July type music, patriotic music, and marches and stuff like that.
So you other than your 3 concerts here, you're performing a number of different places throughout the community then, in different areas.
Yeah, in the summertime, right?
Yeah, how great that is.
Yeah.
Well, you do have, this is your home base, I take it, for
right.
the most part, which because the folks that thought about it and created this center, I mean, I can't imagine what a benefit it has been to Anderson Township. I mean, it just is such a tremendous, facility, and it has opened the door for so many different
it really has
entities to participate and to be able to fulfill different entertainment needs in the area.
And I would encourage all of our viewers to come down to the Anderson Center if you haven't been here to see the facility and see the theater. It's a beautiful facility, and I've had the opportunity to also to conduct a couple of productions with the Beachmont Players.
Oh, great.
And they were just wonderful experiences for me and for my orchestra, and for the Beachmont Players as well. We had very successful productions and huge crowds. So when you drive by and you see the sign, you know, you should check it out. And if you
worth checking it out for sure. I take it that the people who participate in the orchestra are volunteers, and they're not paid for their services at all. It's
no,
it's a work of love.
The community band is all volunteer. I mean, nobody gets paid, so it's great. And you know, I've been very pleased to have such a great level of commitment from the band members, as we were talking before. As you say, people are looking for an opportunity to be able to play, and they always show that by showing up for a rehearsal every week.
Well, because I was going to say, that's a pretty serious commitment when you're going to be in something like that, especially with as many performances as you all do during the year.
And you know, I've never really even had to institute a rehearsal attendance policy. I just pretty much kind of communicate to the group that if you're here, you know, you have to make Monday night your night, and you know, we don't always have everybody there for every rehearsal. Actually, we rarely have everybody there, but we always have most everybody there.
Most everybody, yeah.
And people have things that come up, and
well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they do, but I would think it's something that they are enjoying, that they enjoy enough that they
want to be there.
They want to be there. It's not like they have to be, but they just want to be a part of it. But I think it's really. Are there many other bands like this in the area that?
There are some other bands in the area, and they're kind of scattered around. You know, you kind of have to go out and look for them. Mm-hmm. But I think at this point we might be the largest group out there.
I think you must be. I mean, because you know, I'm not familiar with it until today, but you don't hear much about any.
Well, you know,
such bands like that. I mean, there's a lot of bands that are still performing in the area that are bands that have been around for a while.
Sure.
Wagner's one, and some of those bands.
But and you know, there's a pretty good. If you go back in history, you know, there was a time when community bands were really popular, and people the idea of going off to a bandstand and listening to a concert, you know, was something that was pretty normal. But you know, times have changed, and you know, so you kind of have to put it all in perspective. But you know, we have a lot of competition for people's time.
Oh yes.
You know, so but for the folks in Anderson Township, our concerts are about an hour long. So you know, it's.
Well, I would imagine people, because I imagine most everybody knows a lot of the people in the group. So. It's always fun to go watch people you know perform.
Absolutely.
And
that's probably where most of our audience comes from.
Oh, sure.
But you know, I am noticing after our concerts, our audience keeps growing and growing. And
that's terrific.
We had our biggest crowd after our last concert, and we're looking forward to our next concert. In fact, our next concert is going to be a really fun program. We're going to do a lot of traditional English band literature. Works of Gustav Holst and Malcolm Arnold, who are some of the great band composers from Britain. We're going to do a lot of other British works. We're going to have some music that kind of celebrates the day, since it's on St. Patrick's Day. We have a couple of Irish specials.
That should be fun. That should be fun.
It should. And our soloist is Bethany Heyman. She's a music teacher, and she went to the conservatory, and she's going to play the Rondo Pastoral by Vaughan Williams, and that's the first movement of his oboe concerto, and it'll just be really beautiful.
So you're already working on it now.
Well, actually, we start Monday.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
okay.
we've been dark we've been dark since our concert, but we start on Monday. So. Well,
it sounds exciting. So that'll be St. Patrick's Day here at the Anderson Center
at 2:00.
At 2:00 at the Anderson Center. So in March, if you're looking forward to something to do on St. Patrick's,
It'll be
sounds
fun.
like a good way to celebrate. And again, what's the website?
AndersonCommunityBand.org.
Okay, so if they're interested in participating, or they can get on there and find out when the concerts are, or where you're going to be also.
Exactly.
It has been most enjoyable to have you with us and to learn about the band, and appreciate it very much, and wish you continued success. It sounds like you're probably having more fun than anybody just doing it.
I'm having my share of fun for sure.
That's terrific.
Thanks
John.
for having me.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Nice to have you with us. Appreciate it. We do thank John for being with us, and we're going to be joined shortly by Dee Stone, Executive Director of the Forest Hills Foundation for Education, and her son Mitch to tell us about two very special events that are going to be coming up in February. One in conjunction with the Forest Hill Foundation on education, and the other in conjunction with Mitch's Mission, which we'll learn about when Dee and Mitch come on board. So please, we'll meet them right after we have this message, so don't go away. And welcome back to Anderson Speaks. We're happy to welcome back Dee Stone and her son Mitch Stone to be with us today. And we've got a couple of events to talk about. You are the Executive Director of the Forest Hills Foundation on Education. And I know you've been on before, but give us just a little oversight of what the foundation does and what it does with regard to the school system here in Anderson Township.
The Forest Hills Foundation for Education exists to support the Forest Hills School Districts and the 9 schools in the Forest Hills School District. Basically what we do is fund programs and projects that do not fall within the district budget. So right now one of our biggest programs is the after-school tutoring at all 9 Forest Hills schools. It's both high schools and Nagel. There's also busing that goes along with that, and that's been very successful. And then at the elementaries, there's both an intervention piece and an enrichment piece at the as far as after-school tutoring goes. So it's been very successful at all our schools, and that's one of the biggest things we do. Also this year, we're supporting the Bring Your Own Laptop, which is called Power Up, that the district is supporting, and we are helping support that by providing laptops for kids who can't afford them. Actually, we're committed to raising funds for that. So,
and all of your funding comes from money that you go out and raise separately from the school system.
Right.
And,
we are totally separate organization from the school district, and we work closely with them on deciding what programs to fund. But we're a separate nonprofit organization.
Now, the Bring Your Own Laptop program, what is that?
That's called Power Up, and basically what they've asked, the school district has asked kids, right now it's through 7th through 12th grade, if you have a laptop, you can now bring it to school. The district has wireless internet, so any kid can bring whatever device they want to use and use it in school. Any student can bring that. But there's, of course, some students that don't have access to one. So we are trying to supplement that so that students that don't have access to one, eventually we would like to be able to provide those laptops for them.
How terrific, yeah. And you had, you're beginning a new year here,
beginning
2013.
A new year. Got some new events.
Some new events coming up and some new exciting things happening. I know what the one you wanted to talk about today is a Day for Today's Women.
A Day for Today's
Women. And tell
Women.
us a little bit about that.
That is, actually that's an event that's been around for 18 years. It used to be a fundraiser for Anderson PTA. And we took it, it came to the foundation 2 years ago, basically because the committee of women that ran it all those years, most of their kids graduated from high school and they weren't at Anderson anymore, but they loved doing it. And this is a great group of women. I mean, they really know how to put on an event. So it's called A Day for Today's Women. It's on Saturday, February 23rd, from 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, and it includes so many things. It's a continental breakfast. A guest speaker this year is Carrie Kane Miller, who's a life coach. We always have wonderful speakers. Then 2 workshops. You get to choose from a variety of 18 different workshops. You get to choose 2, and they go from financial planning to making a topiary to healthy eating. There's just a number of different topics. And then after that, we come back, have there's lunch, and then a fashion show. So it's a full day. Oh, plus like 20 to 30 different vendors selling things from jewelry to handbags to just lots of different things. So
Where do they hold it?
at Nagel Middle School. And it's a really, really well done event. The lunch is fabulous. It's a great girls' day out. You invite your girlfriends. There's 6 people to a table, so come and bring a table. And all the money goes to the foundation to support our programming.
Oh,
So,
terrific. And
yeah.
so they do pay. I mean, it does cost
Yes,
them
it does
admission.
cost. It's $40 a person, but for what you get, that's a fabulous. It's a
But it's a
fabulous
great,
day.
yeah, a great fundraiser. And a lot of things you do to fundraise are events, through events.
Right,
are
we
they
do.
not?
We have about 4 to 5 events a year. But then we also, go to individuals who, through estate planning, that's the other way we get our funds, which we hope to grow that. But right now we do a lot of events that gets our name out there, plus, brings in some money. And this year's theme for A Day for Today's Women is Queen of Hearts, because it's in February, and it's kind of a heart-healthy theme. We were also going to have cardiologists from Mercy Anderson come and talk, and we have a couple different sponsors, Wellington Orthopedic and Park National Bank, which we're very pleased to have them. So
Sounds like a great event.
It is fun. It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
How many can you accommodate at the event?
About 300. And
Okay.
registrations are open now. So people can go online to our website, www.fhfe.org. www.fhfe.org. And they can register online. If they look under events, it's under A Day for Today's Woman.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That sounds like fun.
It is,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. What other events you got coming up this year?
Then after that, we will have, on March 2nd, Saturday, March 2nd, we will have our Turpin Anderson alumni basketball game, which is at Turpin High School this year, and that's alumni men. I'm not sure if they're adding a women's section this year, but it's basketball, cheerleaders, the alumni band from both schools. It's actually a fun evening out. This is the 4th year, so men of all ages are out there playing basketball.
Well, you know what? The boy never leaves.
That's exactly right, and that's what you see when you're there. It's like, wow, so it's quite fun.
That's great, though.
It's just a great way for people that have gone to the schools or are still involved in the schools to get together. So.
Oh, I think it's great. And again, that's I think anytime you can do an event and make it's a fun event, but you also are raising money for something like that. People like to do that.
Right.
And so it sounds like a pretty good event. Mm-hmm. We're here also to talk a little bit about Mitch and Mitch's mission. Tell us about Mitch's mission and how that came about.
Okay, well, Mitch was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2009. And after that diagnosis, he was adopted by the UC Bearcat football team. And because of that relationship, now Mitch is doing quite well, as you can see. Yeah, he's very healthy. But because of that relationship, we got so much support from the UC football team and from the community. As a family, we started an organization called Mitch's Mission, and it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization that raises funds to send pediatric cancer and blood disease patients from Cincinnati Children's Hospital to summer camp out north here. It's a place called Camp Joy, and this camp's actually called Camp Enjoy It All. It's there's doctors and nurses there. Well, Mitch can tell you a little bit more about the camp because he's been able to attend.
Well, camp's really fun, and I'm just glad that all the kids can come out, even though they need doctors and nurses to come out too to help them, but be a regular kid, enjoy camp.
Oh, great. Now, and is it every year that they have this camp?
Oh, yeah, every summer.
And when do they have that?
June.
July. It's usually like the second, there's actually 2 weeks.
Yeah.
There's a week for younger kids from 7 to 12, and then the next week it's like the 13 to 18-year-olds. And they get it's about 200 kids each session. And the beauty of it is because cancer affects the entire family.
Absolutely.
They each get to bring a sibling. So every kid gets to bring a sibling, and they just get to be regular kids for a week.
I think that's great. That's great.
it's fun.
That's for sure. And it had to be exciting to be part of the Bearcats and have the Bearcats, be there to support you. And how did they get involved? How did the Bearcats get involved with this?
Okay, so what our event is you can see from Mitch's shirt, it's called Playdate with the Bearcats. That is February 10th, Sunday, February 10th at the UC Rec Center on the UC campus. And this is from 2 to 5 in the afternoon. And it's a great day of just fun family event. All the UC athletes come, and a lot of the football players. Last year we had women's lacrosse, volleyball, soccer. Just a ton of UC athletes come. It's geared towards family. They can attendees get to swim, rock climb. What else is involved?
Play in the gym with the Bearcats and get autographs and all kinds of stuff.
They can shoot hoops. Shooting hoops with UC Bearcats. It's a kid's dream. And then plus also we have carnival games for the younger kids, face painting. We have a big raffle. At the end we raffle off of a number of different items. And then we have food. And so it's just a great Sunday afternoon out, especially if it's a cold winter day.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like a lot of fun. Well, you got to be excited this year because you both told me that you went to the Belt Bowl and saw the Bearcats come home champions.
It was in Charlotte this year, and we went down there to Charlotte, and we saw the game, and it was very exciting and a lot of fun.
Especially when they win.
Yeah.
It's always more fun when they win.
Always more fun when they win. Well, and do you still see some of the guys that were involved when you were going through your period there?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was adopted, so I basically see them, for life, and, so I get to see them on practices and games, and I'm just glad to go out and watch them.
That's exciting stuff, and I got to believe that it benefits everybody. I mean, the guys must really take a great deal of pleasure and joy in doing things like this as well. The kids certainly benefit from it, but it's a great opportunity for them to give something back also.
It is, and the athletes at Playdate with the Bearcats, when they all come, they have just as much fun as the kids attending. I mean, because they're all together in one spot. They enjoy hanging out with kids. They really get into it. It's fun. And then every year, the Bearcats come out to Camp Joy too. They do? They come out for a day and spend the day there and interact with the campers, and that's always fun. The Bearcats love coming. I mean, the ones that come just have a blast. So.
Well, I think, and that's a part we never see or hear much about. I mean, with athletes, until you start listening to some of the things that they do, and some of these guys who visit hospitals and are out there really seriously devoted beyond just their sport. And I think that says a lot for those guys, and certainly for a lot for the community to have those kind of people involved.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you have any favorites that you, over the time?
There's a ton of players I really bonded with and I really like. The 2009 season, I got to know the guys, and just there's so many bonds. And
so now, did you go to a lot of the games?
I went to most of them. Most of them I could come to, but some of them I was in the hospital and battling. So
you came out pretty good, though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. So you now did you get to sit down with the guys on the bench during the games, or do you sit in the stands?
I'm usually up in the stands.
Are you?
We have pretty good seats, and just usually watching and supporting the team.
Well, you brought him a winner this year, buddy. Which is great, because football is always, basketball is so dominant in this area. It seems like college basketball is. So the football guys, I think, sometimes don't get as much of a good hit as they deserve. But the game was exciting, and it was. I watched the whole thing and bit all my nails off and a few others.
That was definitely a nail biter. Definitely a nail biter. So.
But they came out great. So that's going to be in February. That's
February
on the 10th.
Yeah. If people want to register, they can go to our website, www.mitchesmission.com, and you can register right there on the site. or you can pay at the door. And it's $15 per person, or $50 for a family of 5. And because we wanted to make the price reasonable.
Absolutely.
You know, for a family day out, I think that's pretty reasonable, $50. And it really is a day of fun. You know, so there's swimming, so make sure if you're planning on coming, bring a swimming suit, bring a towel, bring clothes to change into. There's places to put all that, but there's rock climbing. The basketball, as Mitch said, that's one of the funnest things for boys is, you know, the pickup game with the UC football players.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, and if somebody can't go, I mean, can they still donate to help
we
the
would love,
help,
we would take any donations. We would love to have.
So anytime, if somebody wants to
on
just
our website,
on the
mitchesmission.com, we accept donations throughout the year because last year we raised $20,000.
Wow.
And so we were able to send 40 kids to camp, and we would like to top that this year.
Absolutely.
And every year we're trying to get a little bit more because it just means so much to these kids to get to the camp.
And where do they have the camp again?
It's in Camp Joy. It's just north of Kings Island.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people know Camp Joy. So.
Yeah, they use that for a lot of different things.
They do.
I think
Training.
the Chamber of
Exactly.
Commerce over in northern Kentucky goes there.
It's a wonderful facility.
I guess the leadership in northern Kentucky, they send their people up there
Right.
and go to Camp Joy, and so that's must be a nice facility and a lot of fun. And so, do you go every year?
Yeah, I try, and
Do you?
summer's a lot of fun with going to Camp Joy.
You keep pretty busy. What grade are you in?
I'm in 9th grade
Are you
at
really?
Anderson.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you run track and cross country, so
Yeah.
you have a busy schedule.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's good, though.
Yep.
It's good. You're doing great. That's awesome.
He goes every 6 months for checkups and good reports. So we're very blessed.
Well, the folks at Children's are among the best.
Oh, Children's Hospitals.
We're blessed in this area to have one of the best in the country.
I could not agree more.
Yeah,
I could not agree more.
There's an amazing group of people that are extremely dedicated. So, well, we wish you well on both of your events. The day for today's Women, February 23rd.
February 23rd,
and
correct.
February 10th, play date with the Bearcats.
Correct.
Yep.
And you'll be there.
Oh, of course.
So they should look for you.
Yep.
You'll sign an autograph or two?
Maybe.
Thanks a lot for coming and being with us today. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Good seeing you.
You'll be back to tell us more about some great things that are happening at the Forest Hill Foundation for Education. You have such fun doing what you do. I always love to see you because you're.
Thank you. I love it.
You love what you do for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Nice to have you with us. Good luck on the events. And thank you very much for being with us. We want to thank all of our guests that were with us today, Susan Parker, John Fecker, and of course Dee Stone and Mitch Stone. Also thank our producer who works very hard, Nikki Bishop, and our director, Andy Crozier. And a special thanks to you for taking time out of your busy day to join us for Anderson Speaks. I'm Dick Murgatroyd. Until the next time, enjoy your day and share a smile with somebody. Every day you meet somebody. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye.